Welcome to the Wholesaling Freedom channel, where I teach you exactly how I quit my 9-to-5 job and built a successful wholesaling business, and how you can do it too. If you're new here, my name is Ralph, and I quit the rat race to become a full-time real estate entrepreneur. Before you dive in headfirst into wholesaling in 2025, there are some things you need to know, because what worked in 2018, 2019, even 2023 is not the same game today. Markets change, laws change, and wholesaling, it's still a great way to make money if you know what you're doing. In this video, I'm breaking down the reality of wholesaling in 2025, what's changed, what's working, the biggest mistakes that new wholesalers make, and what no one tells you about getting started. By the end of this video, you're gonna know exactly how to avoid the traps that make most wholesalers fail and set yourself up to actually get paid. Sound good? All right, let's go. Alright, first off, because I know some of y'all probably already heard this, wholesaling is illegal, or there's no money in wholesaling anymore, or, you know, whatever other excuses you probably heard out there. I mean, look, I get it. I get why you think that, but listen, it's not true. Fact of the matter is, wholesaling is legal in most markets. Now, yes, some states have tightened up the laws. In places like Illinois, Oklahoma, and Philadelphia, you either need a license or you have to structure your deals a little bit differently. But that does not mean that wholesaling is dead. It just means that you have to learn how to do it legally, which, if you're serious about making money, it should be a no-brainer anyway. Now let me run down a quick list of states where wholesaling is either regulated or has licensing requirements at the time of this recording: Illinois, Oklahoma, and Philadelphia, which is city specific, Arizona, Ohio, and Nebraska. If you're in one of these places, you can still wholesale. You might need a real estate license or a brokerage partner, or you might just have to structure your deals a little bit differently, like using the double closing instead of an assignment. Bottom line, know your state's laws and wholesale legally. All right, now let's talk about why wholesaling is not as easy as YouTube might make it seem. I mean, the concept of wholesaling is easy. You find a house, you get a contract, you find a buyer, you assign or sell that contract. The concept is very easy. The execution is difficult, and it's just like with anything else. Concepts are usually easy to grasp. Execution is where it gets difficult, and when it gets difficult, that's really what separates the weak from the strong, or the men from the boys. For example, the concept of selling books online is a simple and easy concept to grasp, but building a behemoth company like Amazon is extremely difficult. The concept of throwing a big ball into a basket is very easy, but the execution of playing basketball at the level of a LeBron James or Kobe Bryant is extremely difficult. So let's look at some of the challenges that you will likely face as a new wholesaler, because let me tell you, if it were easy as watching a couple of YouTube videos and making 10K overnight, everybody would be doing it and everybody would be rich. Wholesaling is simple, but it's not easy. And the reason most people fail is because they don't know how to handle these challenges. So let me break them down one by one, and I'm going to show you exactly how to overcome them. Challenge number one, finding motivated sellers. Now, this is the biggest challenge in wholesaling, period. Without sellers, you have no deals, and without deals, you have no way to make money. Now, when I say motivated seller, I'm not just talking about someone who wants to sell their house. I'm talking about someone who needs to sell and is willing to sell at a discount in exchange for speed and convenience. Now, why is this a challenge? Number one, competition is higher than ever. In every market, there are thousands of wholesalers, agents, and investors looking for deals. How do you solve it? Go after the niche lists: absentee owners, tired landlords, pre-foreclosures, probate or inherited properties. These are where the gold is. Number two, most sellers aren't motivated enough. Just because a property is distressed doesn't mean that the owner is desperate to sell. So how do you solve this? Use multiple marketing methods: cold calling, texting, direct mail, driving for dollars. Test these different strategies to see what works best in bringing you the sellers with the highest motivation. Number three, you have to find the motivated sellers before everybody else does. By the time a good deal hits Zillow or the MLS, it's usually too late. So how do you solve this problem? Follow up, follow up, follow-up. Most deals don't come from the first conversation. You have to be persistent. Challenge number 2, finding the right cash buyers. Now you might think if you find a great deal, buyers will be lining up to take it off your hands. But here's what no one tells you. Not all cash buyers are created equally. So why is this such a challenge? Well, number 1, some buyers are just tire kickers. They say they buy properties, but never actually close. So how do you solve it? You have to be able to identify the difference between a real buyer and a tire kicker. Build your buyers list before you get a deal. Attend real estate meetups, Facebook groups, and other networking events. In talking with buyers, you'll start to be able to sniff out the real buyers from those that are just looking. Vet your buyers. Ask them for proof of funds. Ask about previous deals that they've closed. Ask for references. A real buyer won't hesitate to show you receipts. Number 2, other buyers will try to lowball you. You think you've got a deal with a $20K assignment fee, but then you have a buyer that comes in with a weak offer. How do you solve this issue? Build a bigger buyers list. If you only have one buyer, then you really have no choice. But the more buyers you have, the more options you have. And if one buyer lowballs you, you can have others willing to pay a premium for the same deal. A lot of times I'll have a buyer tell me my ARV is off or my rehab number is off, and they offer me way less than I have the property under contract for. And then I'll have another buyer take the deal as is, and then I'll make a $20K or $30K assignment fee. A weak buyers list means longer time to sell your deals. If you only have 2 or 3 buyers, you're at their mercy. So how do you solve it? Have multiple exit strategies. If you can't assign the deal, consider double closing or maybe even wholesaling it. Challenge number 3, overestimating your ARV or underestimating your rehab. Look, the fastest way to ruin a deal is to get the numbers wrong. If your ARV is off or your rehab estimate is too low, your cash buyers will laugh you out of the room. So why is this a challenge most new wholesalers face? Number 1, comping properties is a skill that takes time to master. New wholesalers often pull bad comps or use the wrong ones. So how do you solve this problem? Use multiple sources to pull comps. Go on the MLS, look at batch leads or PropStream. Go to Zillow, compare at least 3 to 5 similar properties, or work with a realtor or another wholesaler that can help you comp deals until you're comfortable with running your numbers. Number 2, rehab costs vary from market to market. So what costs $20K in the Midwest might be $50K in California. So how do you solve it? Talk to local investors or contractors. Get a rough idea of rehab costs in your market so that you're not making wild guesses. Build a network of reliable professionals that you can check and run your numbers by to make sure that you're making a solid offer. Number 3, some buyers are pickier than others. One buyer might agree with your ARV while another thinks you're way off. Every buyer has different costs for their loans, or they work with different contractors that charge them more or less than average, and some buyers have different profit margins that they're looking for. So how do you solve it? Stay conservative. It's better to underestimate ARV and overestimate your rehab rather than the other way around. Challenge number 4 is mindset, the difference between employees and entrepreneurs. Now this one is huge, and honestly, this is where most people fail before they even start. See, if you've been working a 9 to 5 your whole life, you've been trained to think like an employee. You're used to getting a paycheck every 2 weeks and having someone else tell you what to do and following a structured schedule. But when you're an entrepreneur, no one's gonna tell you to wake up early and make calls. No one is gonna make sure that you're following up with your seller leads. It's all on you. So why is this a challenge for new wholesalers? Well, number 1, you don't get paid unless you produce. There's no salary in wholesaling. You only eat what you kill. So here's how you solve this issue. Set a schedule and treat this like a job. Block off time for marketing and calls and follow-ups, and do not negotiate with yourself. If you said to yourself that you're gonna do 4 hours of cold calling today, don't stop at 3 or 3.5 hours. Don't make excuses. Make sure you hit those goals. Number 2, you have to deal with rejection. Sellers will say no. Buyers will ghost you. Deals will fall through. This is just part of the game. So how do you deal with this? You need to develop a millionaire mindset. A great book to read that helped me expand my mindset and deal with these kind of challenges and rejections is Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker. Number 3, Self-discipline is hard. Without a boss, it's easy to procrastinate and get distracted or lose motivation. So here's what you can do. Surround yourself with successful people. Join a mastermind or a real estate community, or maybe get together with a group of wholesalers that can all hold each other accountable. Get connected with people who are where you want to be. Challenge number 5, unrealistic timelines. Thinking it's gonna happen overnight. This is a big one. A lot of new wholesalers think they're gonna get rich in 30 days. They see YouTube videos of people making 20K on their first deal and they assume that this must be the norm. But here's the truth. Wholesaling is a business. It's not a lottery ticket. But because of the large amount of money you can make with just one deal, wholesaling tends to attract a lot of get-rich-quick minded people. And here's why this is a challenge. Number 1, most new wholesalers quit too soon. If they don't get a deal within the first 60 days, they give up. They don't have enough juice in the tank to make it all the way through. So how do you solve this? Make a contract with yourself. Commit to 6 to 12 months of consistent effort. Expect slow progress before the breakthrough. But tell yourself, I'm gonna do this for at least 6 months before even thinking about anything else. Number 2, your first deal takes time. On average, it could take 3 to 6 months to close your first deal. So how do you solve this issue? Track your activity. If you're not making offers every week, you're not in the game. If you're not getting new leads every week, you're not gonna make any progress. You can't manage what you don't measure. Number 3, inconsistent effort equals inconsistent results. If you only cold call whenever you feel like it, don't expect deals to magically appear. Here's what to do instead. Stay patient and persistent. Success compounds. The wholesalers making 100K, 200K, 500K a year struggled at first too. All right, now on to the hidden costs. Wholesaling is low cost, but it's not no cost. If you think that you're going to make 10K without putting in any of your own money, you're never going to make it in this business. Now, you don't need a ton of money, but it will cost something. And if this is important enough to you, I don't want to hear any excuses. Go out there and find the money to invest in your business. Borrow the money if you have to, get a part-time job if you have to, sell old stuff on Facebook if you have to, but there's always a way to make some extra money to be able to invest in your business. Now, here are some common hidden costs that most new wholesalers should consider and plan for before starting. Number 1, marketing costs. Direct mail, cold calling, and texting costs money. Number 2, earnest money deposits. Some sellers want you to put some skin in the game and pay a certain good faith deposit when signing a contract. Now, this can range from $100 to a few $1,000s depending on what's considered customary in your market. Number 3, closing costs. Sometimes if you do a double close, you may need some of those funds up front. Number 4, legal fees and compliance. Some states require a license. Some states require that you close with an attorney, so you will need some funds to start with depending on your market. Number 5, tools and software. Now, you need good tools, and here are a couple of must-have wholesaling tools for 2025. Number 1 is Batch Leads. It's a great property database where you can get property owner data and information. You can pull specific and niche lists of motivated sellers, and you can even skip trace all in the same website to get the phone numbers for free. You can run comps, and you can even find buyers. Now, this is a must-have for anybody if you're going to take this serious. You need to have the right tools. I'll put a link in the description where you can get a free 7-day trial of Batch Leads just so you can see the power that this tool can bring to your business. Next, you'll need some way to keep track of all your leads. So I suggest a CRM like Podio, where you can schedule follow-up calls, you can keep notes on properties and more. Now, I'll say this, be careful with distractions. A CRM is basically a platform where you can manage your leads. CRM stands for Customer Relationship Management. The problem is designing a CRM and spending so much time customizing it can be a huge waste of time, especially if you don't have a bunch of leads. I didn't purchase Podio until I closed my first 3 deals. I just used the basic Excel spreadsheet to keep track of my leads, and I used my Google Calendar to remind me of follow-ups. Lastly, if you don't want to use your personal phone number for calling sellers, you will need to invest in either a Google Voice number or some kind of power dialer. Having a power dialer is a game changer because it lets you dial multiple sellers at the same time. Now, the dialer that my team uses is Mojo Dialer. I've tried just about every dialer out there, and Mojo is the most user-friendly and easiest to work with. And lastly, number 6, the biggest cost, time. Wholesaling isn't a hobby, it's a commitment. If you're working a 9 to 5, that means nights, weekends, and early mornings are for wholesaling. No more Netflix binging, no more happy hours. This is what separates the winners from the wannabes. If you're not willing to put in the time, you'll never be successful. Now, here's why most wholesalers fail. 80% of deals comes from lead follow-up. Once you get a lead, it's not over. It's actually just the beginning. You have to follow with that lead consistently to convert that lead into a deal. Now, what is a lead anyway? A lead is simply a property owner who has stated interest in selling their property. Now, not every lead is a deal, but every deal starts as a lead. The truth is, motivated sellers don't make the best or fastest decisions. They hesitate, they avoid reality, and that's why some of them end up as motivated sellers to begin with. But also, that's why you have to keep calling, you have to keep texting, and you have to keep following up. The reality is, most people will quit after the second or third touch point, and they never hang in there long enough to convert that lead into a deal. Now, there are deals that I've closed that took me over a year of follow-up. I'm talking 50 touch points. Now, when you add it all up, 3 minutes here, 5-minute phone call there, 1 minute every week leaving a voicemail or sending a follow-up text, it probably only adds up to about 3 hours, but spread out over the course of a year. So this is really a mental game. Can you stay consistent even when it seems like a dead end? Those who do stay consistent win the prize at the end. All right, so now you know the truth about wholesaling in 2025. Wholesaling is still legal. Wholesaling is still profitable. The concept is easy, but execution can be difficult. There could be some hidden costs to start with and be successful, but it's not going to break the bank. So if you're serious about quitting your 9-to-5 and making this work, you got to commit to the process and be ready to give it your all. All right, that's it, guys. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button so your algorithm can keep giving you more content like this to help you build your real estate business, and hit that subscribe button for more wholesaling videos. And if you want to go deeper, drop a comment below, let me know where you're at in your wholesaling journey, and I'll personally respond. All right, guys, see you on the next video.